morning, OCO. My name is Agil Dugayu Hunsti. In short, in English, it's Weeya. And it just means strong standing woman or woman who stands strong. I am from the Cherokee tribe of Alabama, and I am a storyteller, and I am very thrilled to have you here to listen to my stories. Now, all of our stories are traditional. They get passed down from generation to generation. So my grandmother and her mother and her mother passed these stories down to us. And then as time goes on, the stories get changed just a little bit as time goes on, but the meaning of the story stays the same. So I'm going to tell you a couple of stories today. The first one I'm going to tell you about is about a little black duck. Now, this is where the story takes place. In Alabama, there are mountains. Believe it or not, there are mountains in the state of Alabama. And up at the top part of Alabama, at the very bottom of the mountain was a Cherokee village. And in that village, there lived a little bitty girl, and her name was Anna. And Anna was 10 years old. Are any of you 10 years old? One? What are you guys? 12? Ooh, I teach 12-year-olds. So, there was a little girl, and her name was Anna. And Anna lived in the village. And in her home, every single day, they had to work in order to feed themselves. So this was a few hundred years ago. And so back then, Dad had to hunt for the deer meat, and Mom and her daughter, Anna, would work the fields and the crops. They would take care of the corn and the beans and the squash. We call those the three sisters. Okay? And Anna's job every single day was to pound the corn, to turn it into like a flour to make cornmeal bread. And that was her job every single day. So one day, it was a beautiful day, just like today. Anna said, Mom, can I please, can I go play? Mom says, did you get your chores done? Anna was like, oh, yes, I got them done. She was so excited because she was going to go visit a lily. Now, you don't know who a lily is, but I'm about to tell you who a lily is. So Anna ran up and down the hills. She came across the creek, and by the creek, there were growing wild onions, so she had a little bitty snack. And while she was there, she threw a couple of rocks and drank some water, and then she started running as fast as she could because she wanted to visit a lily. And she ran up the hill and down the hill, and she finally went up the last hill, and there stood a lily. She was beautiful. She was a huge oak tree. And in our language, aluli means grandmother. Can you guys say aluli? It just says the Cherokee word for grandmother. So she runs up to the big oak tree, and she gives her a really big hug, and aluli lowered her branches down to the ground so that Anna could climb up her. And Anna climbed all the way up to the top of the tree where the wind was blowing. And as the wind was blowing, it was swaying the tree back and forth and back and forth. And Anna was rocking back and forth. Oh, she loved being at the top of that tree. And as she was at the top of that tree, all of a sudden something caught her eye. What was that? It was a huge black cloud. But it wasn't like the clouds you see up in the sky. This cloud was moving very, very fast. It swooshed to the left, and it swooshed to the right. It swooshed straight up there, and it came whoop, all the way down to the ground and disappeared. And Lily thought, I wonder what that is. So she shimmied down. Anna was shimmied down Aluli. She gave Aluli one more hug and told her goodbye, and she started running towards the black cloud. She kept her eye up to the sky because that's where the cloud was at. And she kept seeing it swoosh to the left and swoosh to the right and swoosh up in the top and then come crashing down and disappear. Oh, she kept running. She kept running as fast as she could to get up and down those hills. And she finally came to the bottom of the last hill, and there was this big bush. The bush was magnificent. It was huge, but it was doing something strange. It was shaking. Anna had never seen anything like that. She thought to herself, what is going on with this bush? Wow, she thought, I'm going to check it out. So she bent down and picked up a stick. Right? You don't want to go poke anything with your finger, right? So she picked up a stick and she walked over to the bush as quiet as she could. And she pushed away the bushes, and to her amazement, there were 1,000 little black bugs. Oh, and they were beautiful little black bugs. And they were swarming around something. She couldn't figure out what they were doing. So instead of poking it with her finger, she took the stick. Now, she didn't take the stick and beat the bugs. We don't do that, right? We don't want to harm innocent animals and insects and things like that. She gently took the stick and touched the little black bugs until they kind of scurried away. And when they scurried away, there was this gold stuff there. And it was sticky gold stuff. And she took that stick and she swirled it around in the gold stuff and she threw it up in the air. She didn't know what it was, and it was sparkling and shiny. And oh! Wait a minute. That tastes pretty good, she thought. So she said, ooh, that would taste really good on my mama's cornmeal bread. So she ran home as fast as she could go. She ran and ran, went up the hills, waved at grandmother Aluli, kept on going, stopped and grabbed a drink of water from the creek, and kept on going until she got home, and she was, she was all out of breath. And as she was looking around, here comes Dad. Dad's coming in from the day's hunt, and he comes over to the mother, and he drops things off, and he's all tired. And Animal says, Dad, there's this gold stuff, and it tastes really, really good. And it will taste really, really good on Mom's cornmeal bread. We'll see about that, says Dad. And Dad goes and grabs a gourd bowl. Now, they didn't have Tupperware back in those days. They didn't have glass bowls. They didn't have plastic bowls. So they had gourd bowls, bowls made out of gourds that we would store stuff in. So Dad grabbed one of those that was empty, and he followed Animal all the way to the bush. And when he got there, he said, I don't see nothing. You know, what's the big deal? She said, Dad, it's in the bush. So Dad went over there, like all dads, all tough. Dad went over there and he pushed back that bush, and out flew 1,000 little black bugs. And Dad thought, what's this? So he just kind of shooshed them away, and he went and he grabbed all the gold stuff, took all of it. Now, in our traditions and in our belief systems, we are never, ever to take it all. In fact, we're supposed to only take a little bit and then leave the rest. But Dad didn't do that. And Animal started hollering, Dad, you're not supposed to take it all, Dad, we're not supposed to take it all. Something's going to happen. And Dad thought to himself, Animal, come on. So they went home. Well, now you've got 1,000 little mad black bugs. All of a sudden, they raised their little black arms up to the sky and started shaking their fists. Creator! Creator! And all of a sudden, the wind started blowing and picking up. The trees were moving back and forth. Yes, little black bug, the Creator says. What can I do for you? Didn't you see what that human being did? Did you see what he did? He took all our gold stuff. bugs, maybe, just maybe, he didn't see you. Yeah, we're going to go with that. He didn't see you. So, I'm going to help you out, says the Creator to the little black bugs. I'm going to help him see you. So the Creator took his mighty hand and he drug his fingers in the earth. And everywhere he drug his fingers, up popped salute. Can you say salute? Can't hear you. That is the word for corn. Okay? So up popped salute, or corn. And on top of that corn was tassels. And the Creator took his hand and walked over randomly, not taking it from every plant, randomly tapping the tassel to get the pollen in his hand. Okay? And then he bent down and grabbed some water and put it in his hand. And he mixed it together and created paint. Now what are we supposed to do with that? Says one of the little black bugs. Well, come on over here and let me show you. So the Creator took his finger and he dipped it in the paint and he put yellow stripes all around the bottom of that little black bug. Ooh, they look lovely. Oh, they love that. They thought to themselves, ooh, let's all do it. So 1,000 little black bugs got the paint and started painting stripes on their bottom sides. And the Creator said, well done. He should be able to see you this time. Well, time passed, okay? You know, time passed. Dad ran out of the gold stuff. So he went further again and he said, Animal, let's go. Animal said, oh, Dad, please, this time, Dad, please don't take all of it. Well, they went up the hills and down the hills, said hello to a little, and kept going until they got to that beautiful bush. And Dad did like what Dad did before. He pushed open that bush, and out flew 1,000 yellow striped, beautiful black bugs, saying, look at me, flying around, look at me. And Dad did not pay any attention to those little black bugs. Instead, he reached down and took all the gold stuff. And Anna was crying, Dad, please. We were taught better than this. The elders have told us we are not to take it all. Oh, hush, girl, Dad says. And he goes off, and Anna follows him home. Do you think they were mad this time, the little black bugs? Yeah, they were mad. And this time, they raised their little black fists and stomped their little black feet. Creator! 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 And once again, the wind started blowing. Well, Creator said to the little black bugs, well, what seems to be the problem now? Didn't you see him? Didn't you see what he did? Look at these beautiful yellow lines on us, these stripes. He didn't care. Took all our hard stuff anyway. The Creator thought about it for a minute, and he thought, and he said, okay, well, if they can't see you, maybe he needs to hear you. So then the Creator called up the wind, just like the wind's blowing today in the beautiful trees. He called up the wind. And all of a sudden, a flock of hummingbirds came. Now, if you didn't know, hummingbirds do not hum through their beak. Okay. I'm a teacher, so I have to do a little bit of educating, just a little bit. Hummingbirds make the humming sounds by the flaps of their wings. That's what makes the humming sound. And the little black bugs go, what? The Creator said, try humming. try making a noise. Maybe that will scare that human being. Me, 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 me. I don't think that's going to scare the human being. Let's try one more time, and I want all of you to do it with me. All you black bugs. We're going to try to hum. That's it. If you do that to the human being, I can guarantee you, you're going to scare him. They were excited, right? So they all decided, and they practiced because they knew that the human was going to come back. So, sure enough, just like clockwork, Dad ran out of the gold stuff. He comes back with Anawa. Anawa, of course, is all upset, warning Dad over and over again, something terrible is going to happen, Dad. And all Dad can say is, hush, girl. And he goes over to the bush. And he pushes open the bush. You ready for this? Out flew 1,000 little black bugs. And what were they doing?
Buzzing.
Yeah, right. Can you help me? Bzzz, right? Now, how many of you have been outside minding your own business and something comes buzzing in your ear, right? Been there, done it, right? And what do we normally do? We swat it, right? We swat it, we kill it. And Dad killed, now pay attention, there's 1,000 black bugs. Dad kills 100 black bugs. Okay, we're doing math here. How many do I have left?
900.
Thank you, we have 900 little black bugs left. Dad didn't care, he took all the gold stuff, he heads home. Now you can only imagine how these little black bugs are feeling at this point in time. They are furious. They not only raise their little fists to the skies, they not only stomp their little feet, they throw their bodies down on the ground, throwing a temper tantrum. Now, how many of you have done that? And I better see some hands raised in the audience, because I know everybody has thrown a temper tantrum at least once. Okay? I know I have, and my grandmother took care of it, and I never did it again. So, they throw their little bodies on the ground, screaming and kicking and screaming and kicking, creative, creative, creative. Well, guess what? There was no wind blowing this time. There was nothing flying around in the air this time. The Creator didn't even make a grand entrance this time. He just came right down. What is it this time, little black bugs? He killed us. He took all our gold stuff. Don't you see what he did? And out from the back came one little black bug with her hands on her hips, and her name was Miss Sassafras. Aren't you the Creator? Aren't you the know-all, be-all? Don't you know what's going on here? You're the Creator, right? Ooh, we're a little sassy, aren't we? Well, I'll tell you what I'll do, says the Creator. I'll give you one more shot. I'm going to take my finger and watch what I do. So the Creator takes his finger and he taps the earth real hard and he swings his finger around like that. And as he swirled his finger around like that, thorn bushes popped up. He goes, there you go, have at it. And they looked at him and said, wait, what are we supposed to do with that? It's a thorn bush. What are we supposed to do with a thorn bush? And crowd screaming and yelling. And the Creator goes, well, because of her, Miss Sassafras, because you know we're not supposed to sass people, right? Because of Miss Sassafras, you're going to have to figure it out on your own. And boom, the Creator was gone. Oh, they did not know what to do. They were fit to be tied. They were sitting there stumbling all over themselves, looking at the thorn bush. But way from the back, way from the very far back, comes the smallest, teeny tiniest little black bug. He was smaller than the rest of them. And they laughed at him and said, ha, you're too little. What are you going to do with that thorn bush? He said, I'm going to show you. I'm going to put that thorn right off that bush. Give it a little lick. I'm going to stick it on my behind. Hold it there for about 30 seconds. And then give it a test. He let go. He gave it a little shake. Bing, 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 bing. Yep, it was holding on. He went and tried it on this side. Gave it a little shake. Bing, 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 bing. And they started laughing because he had a thorn on his behind. What are you going to do with that thorn on your behind? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fly all the way up in the sky. And when that human comes back, I'm going to fly down as fast as I can, and I'm going to sit on it. Ooh, they thought. That would really hurt if all of us had a thorn on our behind. So guess what they did?
So all the thorns on their behind.
They sure did. They all took a thorn and licked it and put it on their behind, tested it out, and they were all ready to go. Well, this time, Dad comes with Anawa, but Anawa was smart this time. Anawa knew that 3 times was not a charm when it comes to disobeying the laws of nature. So, she hid behind the tree and watched as Dad went over to the bush. And Dad went over to the bush with his bowl, just like normal. He pushed that bush apart. Where'd they go? Anna, they're not here. Should I just go ahead and just take the gold stuff? They're not here anymore. And as he heard that, as he saw that, he heard. And guess where they were at?
Above him?
Yes. You're so smart. Thank you for participating. I love it. They were way up high above his head. And they all came flying down as fast as they could, and they all sat on him. Oh, they pricked his hands, they pricked his face, his neck, his lips, his ears. Everything got poked. Okay? And it was so bad, his fingers swole like this. He couldn't even close his hands. His lips got all swollen like this. His eyes were swollen shut. He couldn't even see. And Anna came over and said, Dad, I told you something bad was going to happen. Anna had to lead him home. So we've learned quite a bit here, but that's not the end of the story. And I'm coming to the end, right? Because in our traditional stories, we teach our children how to behave through stories, and we also teach our children how things came to be in this world. You see, because humans, when they got here, they are the ones that gave the names to the insects, the plants, the trees, the rocks, the lakes, okay? And after time passed, Dad became very remorseful. He healed up and he realized that he had gone against the laws of nature, that he had gone against the teachings of his elders by taking all the gold stuff. So this time, when Dad went back, he was very humble and full of an apology, and he had a gift for the little black bugs. So this time he went back. And when he went back, they were ready. They had their little fists drawn up and doing this. Yeah, you want some more? We'll give you some more. He's like, no, no. I've come to apologize, and I want to make an agreement between you and me that I will only take a little bit of your gold stuff. And in return, as a thank you and a gift to you, I will give you a name. So Dad gave them a name. Now, y'all are very smart up here. What do you think the name was that Dad gave the little black bugs?
See, you hinted at it through the story.
What? I hinted at it during the story. Did I really? Did y'all fall for it too? Did you figure it out what the name was over here? Yes, it is the bee. So Dad gave them the name of the bee. Now, the gold stuff was very sacred, okay? And the little black bugs that became the bee decided to give Dad the sacred name. So what do you think the name was of the gold stuff? The stuff they were eating.
Honey?
Honey, that's right. Honey, 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 that wonderful stuff that we love to eat. And from that day forward, the bee and the human made an agreement that they would work together, right? And that they would help, humans would help with pollination and plants and flowers and all that wonderful stuff. And in return, the bees would give us honey, as long as we didn't take too much. And that is how the little black bug became the bee. Thank you. Now you do this.